Welcome everyone, I'm Abby Phillip. First, let's talk about this past weekend. Super Bowl Sunday hit, and what a matchup it turned out to be. If you're someone who thrives on edge-of-your-seat thrillers, where every play keeps you guessing right up to the wire, well, this one probably left you wanting more. It was a slow, methodical battle that almost drained the excitement out of seeing the Patriots take another loss. Still, give them credit for that quick rebuild in just a year. At least the food didn't disappoint. I went all in. The massive sub, piles of wings, nachos loaded with cheese, the works, washed down with plenty of cold beer. Classic game day spread. What about you? What's your go-to for the big game? One buddy of mine claims he's strictly on this meat and fermented foods regimen. Meat and ferments? Really? This guy's out here acting like he's from another planet. Who shows up to a Super Bowl gathering pushing yogurt as their contribution? Yogurt. For the Super Bowl, you eat nothing but animal protein and pickled stuff all week, then decide the perfect party dish is yogurt? Come on, if you're going to drag ancient diseases back into fashion, at least bring some beef jerky instead of showing up with dairy in a tub. Nobody wants that at kickoff. Even with the sluggish game and questionable snacks, we always count on the halftime show to deliver. This time around, it featured the global sensation Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio, better known as Bad Bunny. The man brought serious energy. He navigated what looked like an endless field of sugarcane, pulled in cameos from heavy hitters like Lady Gaga and Ricky Martin, tossed in some Mandalorian vibes, staged a wedding, ran a mini diplomatic session, even squeezed in a fake utility repair. The whole thing burst with joy, color, and that unmistakable rhythm, pure celebration. Except apparently, for a big chunk of viewers, it ranked as the absolute low point in halftime history. Why? Because the entire set was delivered in Spanish, not a single line in English. To them, that felt like a deliberate insult to the country. How dare anyone perform without catering to English speakers? They asked. The majority in the stadium had no clue what was being sung. Is it really so unreasonable to expect the biggest stage in American sports to stick to our shared language? And look, some folks at Turning Point USA felt the same frustration. They stepped up and organized their own parallel event, an all-patriotic alternative halftime special broadcast in plain, straightforward English. They even had live music to prove it could be done right. No need for subtitles or confusion. Simple. Was that really such a stretch? Merriam-Webster would approve of the effort to keep things accessible. But let's be real. Was anyone actually skipping Bad Bunny's spectacle just to catch a guy in faded denim shorts, awkwardly mouthing along to an old rock track from decades ago? Or was the whole alternative lineup supposed to outshine the main event with pure red, white, and blue spectacle? Fast forward through some of it, and you get these earnest country tunes about the struggles of rural life. Lyrics pleading for the simple joys, reeling in a catch, cruising in a pickup, cracking open a cold one, mowing the lawn, lacing up boots, caring for the pets. Sounds pretty doable, right? Until it pivots hard into complaints about how tough it is these days because apparently stating basic biology could land you in serious trouble with the woke crowd. The singer positions himself as some kind of rebel hero for daring to say boys aren't girls in country music, where that's somehow a risky stance against a powerful lobby. Brave stuff. If cancellation ever actually hit, hey, more time for fishing, driving, drinking, mowing, and, most crucially, feeding the dog. Don't skip that part. The dog needs to eat. But the deeper gripe was that the official halftime show failed at its supposed core duty, bringing the nation together. Singing entirely in Spanish? That's divisive during what should be our most unifying spectacle. Why not pick someone who could bridge gaps instead? Hold on. Since when is the halftime performer responsible for national harmony? That's a tall order for any artist. Isn't there someone else whose actual job description includes uniting the country? Like, oh, I don't know, the president? What exactly has that office done lately to stitch things back together? Take a look. The current occupant went online to slam Bad Bunny's set, labeling it one of the all-time worst performances. Nobody understands a single word? He complained. Nobody? As if Spanish is some obscure dialect only a handful of people speak. Newsflash, millions do, fluently, right here in the US. And just days earlier, during Black History Month no less, The same account shared a clip that ended with former President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama depicted as cartoon apes. A straight-up racist trope flashed at the close. The video got pulled after backlash, even from some Republicans, but the damage was done. Defenders rushed in. It wasn't the whole thing that was racist, just the ending. Come on, if a sentence wraps up with a slur, the entire thing's tainted. Placement doesn't erase presence. It's like saying everything's fine, except this one spot has a serious infection. The whole system's compromised. Some tried to downplay it further. People compare others to animals all the time. No big deal. Sure, unless that comparison carries centuries of dehumanizing weight used to excuse atrocities. But go on, keep explaining. One guy even offered, "I knew a white dude who looked like a monkey, my buddy Joey." Great. You've skipped the "I have a black friend" defense and jumped straight to "I have a white friend with simian features." Poor Joey, probably watching at home, suddenly self-conscious about his resting primate expression. The clip was so egregious that even Senator Tim Scott, the only black Republican in the Senate, called it the most racist thing to come out of this White House. That's saying something. He forced a deletion, putting the president in a bind. Own the racism or admit a blunder. He chose neither, really. I didn't make a mistake. So, owning it, then. Contrast that with the outrage machine when a performer sings in another language for 20 minutes. But a president amplifying dehumanizing imagery? Move along, nothing to see. Fake outrage, they say. Report on real issues. At this point, fake outrage is pretty much the only fuel they've got left. Speaking of outrage, fresh off the Super Bowl, we had American freestyle skiers at the Winter Olympics catching heat for honest comments about representing the U.S. right now. One said it stirred mixed feelings. There's a lot happening he's not thrilled about. Another called it a bit tough. That's it. No burning flags, no calls to defect, just candid discomfort. MAGA lost it. Anti-American. Disgusting. Go home and join the radicals. Really? You want elite athletes switching sides because they voiced nuance? Think that through. Meanwhile, the guy at the top has spent years trashing the country, calling it bloated, failing, a laughingstock, a third world mess run by crooks and weirdos, all while wearing the flag pin, standing next to foreign leaders, ripping into America. But that's fine. It's just a pin, not a full jersey. The hypocrisy is glaring. Freedom of speech gets twisted into, you can't criticize while wearing the symbol, yet the symbol wearer-in-chief does it constantly. When did parts of the right turn so fragile? They used to mock the left for safe spaces, perpetual offense, victim mentalities. Now, triggered by lyrics in Spanish, needing their own alternate event, terrified a skier might feel conflicted, demanding separate programming because 20 minutes of reggaeton in another language threatens their worldview. These folks hold every lever of power, yet act like perpetual victims. The disconnect is massive. They wield real influence to reshape the country, but claim offense at every turn. If the stakes weren't so high, it'd just look like a sad pity party. So what snacks do you bring to that kind of gathering? Probably something bland and safe. Yogurt, maybe.